What's up, world? What's up, free thinkers? I'm Terrence Sonny, and I want to help you out. For a great deal of my life, I've quit. I've given up and cheated just to get by and break even. I found out the hard way that by doing all this, I became a stranger to hard work. So when I came across challenges and obstacles, I never knew what I was capable of because I never allowed my willpower and work ethic to ever be tested. Since then, I've been on a long, hard, developmental journey, and I've come to find a common trend among people who struggle in their life with obtaining goals, meeting resistance, and living a life they feel they deserve. Many of us that struggle know what we want, but don't know who we are. And until you really know yourself, closed doors, missed opportunities, and self-doubt will consistently be your downfall. We all desire the destination, but do you reject the pathway? Let me expose the ideas that will force you to take action. Let me show you that you are your outcome. Hello world, what's up, free thinkers? Welcome to episode 3 of You Are Your Outcome. I'm your boy Terrence, and I expose ideas that help you take action on your goals. I want to talk to you about being vulnerable. Earlier this morning, I did a speech for my upcoming speech contest, and I exposed things that everybody does. You know, I talked about how you eat the wrong things and it gives you gas, and you know how it can possibly give you diarrhea, you have an upset stomach and all that. Everyone's been in that situation. Each and every single person has been in that situation. No one wants to hear it. No one talks about it. And I got an award for the best speech, and I also got comments saying how they love the fact that I exposed myself. I was vulnerable. You see, so many people in my life has tried to dictate things and tell me how things should be done. You should post on certain days of the week. That way people will have an expectation of when to look for you and all that. I've been told so many things by so many people. And I'm making this in my car right now. I've been told I need to go outside, or I need to have a background. I don't need to be in my car. I don't care. What I've said in my previous videos is the important thing is what's coming out of my mouth. With Martin Luther King, I bet you can't tell what kind of haircut he had, what type of suit, or if he had a tie, what type of tie he had, what color his shoes were, any of that. You may not even know Martin Luther King's date of birth, but you know he had a dream. You know he had a purpose. You know what he stood for, and you know what he did. You know, to me that makes more sense. I'm not paying attention to all this other stuff. I'm doing what works for me. You need to do what works for you. You gotta be vulnerable. Michael Jackson, for example. Yeah, he could sing, he could dance, all that kind of stuff. You can say he's iconic or he stood out. But one of the things that attracts so many people to Michael Jackson was the simple fact that he gave his life to us. He always said that he didn't have a childhood. You know, his upbringing was exposed. He had a camera in front of his face all the time, you know. Jackson 5 was really like the first reality TV, if you want my opinion. We all grew up with him. We saw him from a little kid to a full adult, you know. So my whole thing is just be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to expose things about yourself. Other people are going through the same thing. You don't have to have the same standards of anybody else. Be careful of what you let go into your ear. You know, like so many people in high positions will try to give you directions, will try to give you steps, will print things out for you, give you a blueprint, but it may not work for you. Someone can give you a blueprint, someone can advise a blueprint, but perhaps you need to be building a different house. Perhaps you don't need a house. Perhaps you need to be building a condominium or an apartment or something like that. You know, don't let people judge and dictate you. You got to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to expose yourself. Because I guarantee when it comes down to it, you won't be alone. There's someone that needs what you have inside. let's just take the Nike logo, for example. I was talking to someone last night, and I told him how I was working on my book, You Are Your Outcome. And I was told how that's a horrible title. It sounds negative, offensive. And I told him, You Are Your Outcome isn't intended to be negative. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. I'm not pointing the finger at you, even though I literally just did. You Are Your Outcome is pretty much laying things out and getting you to point the finger at yourself. That's the whole thing. And I've been trying to figure out my target audience. I've been looking at this person, looking at that person, getting help from this person, that person. I'm just doing things myself. I'm doing what works for me, and I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm learning what works for me. Because all this content, all this great things that I have inside, I was even told yesterday, like, that I want to see that on the shirt. That would be a great shirt. Yet I've had this idea for like months in my head. Let's just take Nike, for example. Just do it. That's it. That's 3 words. And it's not super specific. You know, just do it. What's that about? Just do what exactly? But how many people are into Nike? How much money is Nike making? How successful has Nike been? How consistent has Nike been? Not everything has to be quantified and super specific. It's all about the action that you do with it. You are your outcome. I need you to be vulnerable. Peace.